Hey, Christian, have you ever been ghosted?
Well, when you say that, Lawrence, I'm thinking I know about ghosting because I'm
hmm
really good at doing it to people. But have I ever been ghosted? I don't remember.
I kind of thought you were going to say that. Yeah, because, well, you know what we just did is we ghosted our audience.
Yeah, a pretty good job of it too. I know. But we didn't forget you, I promise. We just got extremely busy. And when you get on a big string of jobs, everything personal, your life, all your projects, your love, like doing a podcast, takes a back seat.
Yes, very true. But we're back and we're not going away anytime soon. You're not going to get rid of us now. So if you want to hear why we ghosted you, along with some big personal news from Sister Christian, which contributed to the ghosting, big life changes, and you want to review the FilmLA's third quarter filming numbers to see if we've really hit that fall slowdown, plus get an understanding of the Neutrality Agreement. This is big news.
I know. Woohoo!
IATSE signed with the AICP. It's a major step towards unionizing us freelance commercial production workers. Then, you're in the right place.
So definitely grab a drink for this one, kids, because you're going to hear a lot, you're going to learn a lot, and you're going to know a lot when we're done. So stick around for this episode of Producers Happy Hour.
Welcome to the Producers Happy Hour with your hosts, Sister Christian and Lawrence Lewis.
We're two producers with over 20 years of experience each, chatting over drinks about what it means
and what it takes to be a good producer.
Learn with us through insightful interviews and informative show topics that will help you get through your toughest jobs,
biggest production challenges,
and most difficult clients. So grab a drink with us.
You're going to need it.
And let's get to it.
Because making shit
is hard.
I cannot get over our new opening. I love this.
I know. I love it so much.
It's too good and not enough all at the same time.
Exactly.
Good morning.
Good morning, and we're back.
Or afternoon.
Yeah, we're not telling you what time it is, but we're back.
Yeah.
We have to apologize for disappearing on everybody for such a long time, but I can't even begin to explain what was happening in both of our professional lives that got us so crazy busy and personal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you got a big announcement to make today.
I know. We've been gone, but we have not forgotten about anybody. In fact, it's been weighing on me heavily. All of you out there have been waiting for us to come back.
Me too. And we have so much to talk about and so many great interview guests for this next batch. And I promise we're not going to ghost you again. We're going to stick with us and get these podcasts out a lot more often.
Exactly. And that's why today we're not going to even interview anybody. We're just going to tell you what happened.
Exactly. I mean, I signed too many NDAs to really say what's happened, but so many, so many I'm NDA'd. I can't, like everyone's asking me, what have I been doing for the past 8 months? And I'm like, I can't tell you. I cannot tell you. But you wouldn't believe it anyways.
I would like to poll our readers and see who actually talks about any.
I know.
Actually, I know. But that's scandal that we don't need to get into.
You and I were both magic of all magic. We're fortunate enough to work together again, which we haven't in years, on two different projects. That took us through from the end of last year through up to summer of this year. And then I had a major we both actually had a major cancellation that we can't really talk about.
Oh, if anyone wants to call me, though, I'll tell you what.
That sent me packing to Europe, and I took a little sabbatical for a while. And then I came back, and then I've been working, and it's just life's been crazy. How are you, Christian?
So, yeah, I mean, things are good. And I, have been working, which is fine. But I'm telling you that things are so different now. I mean, I know we talk about it all the time, but things are different. And so just adjusting to everybody, the rate increases, which are well overdue.
Yes.
And adjusting to, having to explain constantly to client, agency, and sometimes executive producers that this is what's happening now. Being that liaison between production and crew to everybody else who may not quite understand that we deserve to be treated like humans.
And everything costs more. Everything is so much more expensive. I mean, it's really, really maddening, from gasoline to just lumber to
eggs.
Eggs. How many eggs do we need on the shoot?
Shipping on props, like
shipping,
you name it.
and the luxury of like getting something overnight isn't really that easy of a solution anymore, right? It's like, no, we need.
It hasn't been since the beginning of COVID, so right? I mean, yeah, and if you're trying to be remotely environmentally friendly and not use Amazon, shit out of luck.
Yeah.
Making shit's hard.
Exactly. We've got a few things to talk about. We've got some news updates, a big update from you, Sister Christian.
Yes.
We got to talk about drinks, and we got to talk about all these guests that we're going to be interviewing for the show.
The guests are very exciting.
I know. But first, you should get on our newsletter. And I don't know how many people are on our newsletter, Christian. We haven't looked at it. I don't think we've ever actually used it, but we're going to start using our newsletter.
Yeah.
In fact, you may have gotten an email about this episode, but we're going to put a lot more tips and news items in the newsletter, and also drink recipes, what this whole show is supposed to be about from the beginning.
Well, it still is for me personally. It's a vehicle to talk about alcohol and while consuming it.
And production.
But production, yes. But don't worry, we're not going to do anything weird with your email address, I promise. We'll just send you a little email letting you know that an episode is coming, maybe a few producer tips, tricks that we've learned, some important news about our industry. What are we working on, and what are we going to be doing next year? Can't say anything about it now, but if you're on our email list, you're going to see some really cool stuff.
Yeah, we're working on some really cool, exciting production-related things. Get on our newsletter. We're talking about it. You can, innovation, culture, buzzword. You can sign up to our newsletter, #producershappyhour.com. Probably never been on our website, but it's there. Just put in your name and email, and we're not going to spam you. Don't worry.
Slick and
it's like
you can get so much from it.
It's like 2 emails a month. It's no big deal, and that way we'll let you know when each episode's coming out. And speaking of episodes, we're going to be interviewing some really cool people. The co-founder of Rapbook. Have you used Rapbook? Christian?
I have not. But however, I just heard of one of the production companies that I'm working for quite a lot as signing up for them. So I'm excited to get the lowdown.
Yeah. It seems to make payroll and insurance so much easier. Cameron Woodward is the co-founder.
We're also going to chat with Mike Nelson, who is a working SAG actor here in LA. And he gets into the nitty-gritty about how he books so many commercials and how the shift to non-union has affected him and others in the industry. I think that he also has great insight into what it's like for an actor to need support from a production team.
Yeah. We usually treat them like second-class citizens.
We don't.
No.
However, we've seen it happen.
We've seen it happen.
Cool.
It's not cool. Mm-hmm. They need just as much information and handling as the rest of the crew members and department heads.
Yeah.
We're also going to chat with the co-founder of a website called Set Scouter, which is an online location scouting tool. I've just started playing around with it. I haven't used it on a job because, of course, we still need location scouts. But it's a very clever tool because a lot of times, sister, we get started without any support on jobs. And it seems like the time is longer. Lots of times.
Every time.
And sometimes you need to get a sense of what locations are going to be and what the money's going to so I think this is a good tool for those early days when we don't have any support. When we don't have you get a job and you got 6 days of a scout in the budget, and that makes no sense at all. Yeah, so we're going to learn more about that.
I love it's just a house. There's 1,000 houses in LA you can shoot in.
Yeah.
Sure are. Have you tried Montclair, New Jersey? Try that alone. Anyway, plus we're going to chat with Aaron Weil and Cheyenne Cage. If you don't know their names, you should. They are a producer and production supervisor team who inspired and founded the movement Stand With Production, also known as SWP, which is moving to unionize commercial production workers. And there's some very exciting news that we will be sharing and talking with them about later.
Yeah. But first, what are you drinking?
I am drinking an Aviation, which I'm very excited about.
Is this one of your pre-made?
Yes.
Oh my, look at that.
So On the Rocks, right? It's what it's called. And they're premium cocktails that are pre-mixed. They're super easy. This is not a commercial for them. This is just how my life goes and how listen, you need to take your pills in the morning, grab one of these. Then, so it's gin and basically a little bit of creme de violette, which is a violet liquor made from violet flowers. Delicious.
And it's called On the Rocks is the brand, the premix brand?
Yes, the brand is On the Rocks, yes.
I love it. More of those, please. I'm today, since this is our first episode back, I'm just doing one of my favorite classics, a mezcal Negroni, which is
nice.
It's the easiest thing to make. It's 3 parts, 1 part each. 1 part mezcal, I like Madre, 1 part Campari, and 1 part sweet vermouth.
So 3 ounces of mezcal. I'm kidding. That's a triple, Christian.
I mixed it proportionately, and you get it really nice cold with a big fat ice cube, stirred around for a long time. You can garnish it with an orange peel if you're fancy, but we're not that fancy here in the Lewis household.
All right, cheers. Here you go.
Cheers.
Lauren.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, there you go. Okay, let's dive in. But first, as always, a reminder to subscribe to the podcast and rate and review us on Apple Podcasts or whatever app you're listening to us on, because it really does help other people find the show. And as we've been saying in all of our previous episodes, we all need to stick together these days. We need to build a community because making shit is hard.
So hard. And we definitely want to hear from you. So email us at producershappyhour@gmail.com. Send us your questions, your drink recipes, your comments, ideas for show topics. Tell me about your, second cousin who cannot wait, to Thanksgiving to hear about your latest projects, whatever, just anything you want, but please reach out to us because community building, as Lawrence said, is the most important thing that we can be doing right now.
Yeah, community building is really important. That's what we're here for. And speaking of community, Christian, you have some big news.
I do, about myself, which is my favorite topic, right?
Oh, yay.
Anyone who knows me knows that. I moved to LA from New York after living in New York.
Bum, bum, bum. For how long?
25 years.
Oh, my God.
And I can tell you this, too. I can't tell you how many times somebody was like literally reach out to me and go like, hey, have you moved to LA yet? And I'm just like, no, I'm never going to move to LA. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I love New York. I love everything about it. Got a job opportunity, came out here with a big streaming service, was like, sure, I'll come fucking EP for you and build your studio.
Yeah.
However, at the beginning of this year, as most of us know, a lot of tumultuous stuff was happening with a few different streaming services, like it rhymes with Netflix. And we, and that opportunity, as great as it was and as much fun as we had, they decided to discontinue because, stock prices apparently.
Exactly.
Like, don't worry, they're going to go to ads, so it's going to be worse.
Oh, Jesus.
But all of that said, it was a great opportunity to move out here after 2 years in New York of COVID and being in a very close, quarters. It actually feels like, this is a new experience and a new opportunity to grow and change, blah, blah, blah. That was just all the shit that my therapist said. But in all actuality, I'm closer to you.
I know, which is so exciting.
Exactly.
But we've not taken advantage of it enough.
Well, it's a new adventure. Things feel fresh. I'm happy that I did it. And I will still be your New York expert, everybody. I just now happen to be located closer to Lawrence.
It's amazing. I'm very happy. Congratulations on a move. That's a big one. I know.
Well, thank you very much.
New York to LA is a hard move.
If anybody wants pointers on what not to do, I'm happy to share those with you. Just we can offline about it.
But let's put it on the record. You still work in New York, right?
I will do anything, anywhere, at any time.
I mean, we work everywhere around the globe. So
exactly.
It doesn't really matter where we live.
Exactly. No.
But the New York production, because I remember I went to New York and this is when we became really good friends. There's some major differences with how you guys operate out there and how the vendors operate. And that was a huge learning curve for me. And I remember, Christian, you came and saved my ass on more than one occasion out there.
I mean, well, thank you very much for saying that I did that. But I've always felt very comfortable with letting people know what I've learned. Because it took so much and it was so hard to learn it. I mean, why not share it so that somebody else doesn't have to go through the 43 steps? right?
Exactly.
And it's just so important to me. So if anybody, I mean, still to this day, I get a text, at 7 a.m. on, now that I'm on West
Coast time.
4 a.m. Texas is like, oh shit, I need this. I'm like, sure, no problem. Because again, if we can save anybody time out there, it only goes to quality of life.
Yeah, that's why we say feel free to reach out to us, because we love just talking production and helping people.
Yeah,
helping people
and
out.
Sounding smart.
We've been sounding smart, and we've been in those situations where you're just by yourself and you're stuck and you don't know what the fuck to do. So having a lifeline. We should be the producer's lifeline happy hour.
I can't say that sometimes somebody will reach out to me and be like, I don't know. But you know what? I know 5 people who might. So why don't you give me an hour? Yeah.
Give me an hour.
Happy to
figure
cut
this
and paste
out.
a text into 5 people I know.
Yeah.
Right. And then you get the answer. That's just so important.
I can get you an elephant by 9 a.m. tomorrow.
Yeah, like I may not personally have one, but I can tell you I can find one.
I can find it. Yeah, exactly. There's 2 other news items that we should talk about quickly because they're kind of important. They're not about you, but they are important, just as important. FilmLA came out with we're now in Q4, so they came out with their Q3 stats.
Oh, right. I didn't get a chance to look at this yet.
And it seems like filming in LA is down as compared to the year before.
Oh, interesting.
But
right.
What we don't know was what was it? I got to look it up. I should have looked at it before the show, but I didn't. What was it in 2019? How are we compared to 2019? Because 2020 was a bizarre year, right?
Right. Because that would be my question behind this, right?
Yeah.
Like, just like right now we're hearing like the economy is better than it has been for 2 years. Well, the last 2 years. What was it in 2019? I think that's our barometer, right?
That's got to be. So maybe I'll do some research, look this up, and come back with those facts. But basically, FilmLA reported a total of 9,066 shoot days in Q3, which is down 10.
Wait, whoa. Sorry. How many shoot days?
9,066.
That's 300 shoots a day?
We shoot a lot here in Los Angeles.
Excuse me, but holy fucking shit. I hope nobody's listening to this in the car with your kids. I'm sorry, but holy shit. Why am I amazed by that? Because there's all kinds of stuff going on. So but still, this is just commercials, right?
No. This is everything. I'll get to the commercial breakdown later. Yeah. No, this is film, TV, content, all kinds of stuff. It's down 10% from 2021. Last Q3 was 10,000.
We all thought we were going to be okay, and then we got Omicron.
I remember. Exactly.
Delta.
Whatever it was.
Uh-huh.
So what they're saying is we're seeing an expected slowdown taking shape. This is from Paul Audley, the FilmLA president. To that point, we note that the COVID-19 Delta wave forced an out-of-season production shift last year, 2021. Right. That was like August, right? That shift led to record-breaking filming levels in the later half of 2021. So last year was a bit of an anomaly. In light of that, this is a modest decline, probably stabilizing back to normal. Okay, so it's not terrible. I do want to point out that the biggest shift, though, I don't know if it was the biggest shift, but commercial production activity in the region continued to decline with a total of 1,021 shoot days. So that's commercials over 3 months, 1,021.
Oh, that's like 11 shoots a day. For commercials that feel, or like content, like short form, whatever it is.
Something with an advertiser behind it.
Right. I mean, that doesn't feel like a lot. Like there are times in LA when you feel like you could turn the corner and there's a shoot going on like every other week, of whatever neighborhood you're in.
I did shoot in September, which is when the last month of Q3, and I literally was on a block with 3 other shoots. Right. Mine was the 4th. Mm-hmm. And that was
3 in Pasadena.
Yeah. Well, South Pass, but yeah. Totally.
How can anyone afford to film in Pasadena? But anyway.
It was South Pass, but it was all still, that's actually a good episode title. Last year, 2021, 1,533.
Right. So, that's a bit of a 30% decline, right?
Yeah. So. It's interesting that it's a chunky decline in the commercial sector rather than the overall. Overall, it was a 10% decline. In commercials, it was a 30% decline.
May I venture to tell you why?
Yes, please.
Okay. Because I have been moonlighting as a freelance EP and seeing a little bit more behind the scenes and such, that a lot of companies, I know, people who are non-union are getting flipped like insane.
Really?
So if you have more than one day shoot in LA, then you will be flipped. They're on.
We should have an episode about getting flipped because I've been through it a
I
couple
think we
times.
should, because I think it's important for people who have never had it happen to them understand. It sounds scary, but in the end it isn't, because all of that to say that just about every client that I've dealt with in the last 4 months has said, where can we film that's not LA?
Mm.
And I know for years I've been saying it's easier to film non-union in New York, which it is.
Always.
And people always are like, really? I'm like, yeah, because they don't come like they do in LA. Like the reason why the decline, I can tell, is because clients are hesitant to get the upcharge of being flipped. Just saying. That's been, one girl's experience, but there you are.
That's good insight. Yeah. I've been through it a few times. I remember looking for, right to work states and other places to shoot for these non-union companies. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm in the middle of bidding something for Texas. I know. The client had what do we call them? Gonads to say like, but do you think we can mandate vaccines? And I was like, well.
Wow.
It is Texas. So probably not.
Probably not.
But we can try.
Yeah. Might not have a crew.
No, but I'm saying like the majority of crews in those types of states are actually, in order to work, understand that they should. So it's really more about talent at a certain point. Mm-hmm.
The other big news that we need to talk about before we let everyone go is Stand With Production. We teased it at the top of the show.
Yeah.
So this is some news that, the new commercial contract came out, right? It went into effect end of October, right? New terms. So everything's up 3%, and there's some other new little terms in there. We'll put it in the newsletter, all the details so everyone can see it. But the more important thing is that the two parties, IATSE, the labor union, and AICP, the Commercial Production Association, reached a neutrality agreement and procedures, which could lead to voluntary recognition for non-union freelance commercial production department workers. That's producers, line producers, production supervisors, assistant production supervisors, bidding producers, and PAs. I probably missed somebody.
And production assistants.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is what Stand With Production, it's huge. It's what Stand With Production's been working on for a year now. I think they just passed their 1 year anniversary. This agreement defines a unit of eligible workers and states that if a majority of those eligible workers designate the IATSE as their exclusive bargaining representative by signing these authorization cards, then the AICP will recognize the union for the purpose of engaging in contract negotiations. So if you're seeing Stand With Production, Instagram, or on Facebook, and they're talking about signing union cards, this is what it means. IATSE's reached out to Stand With Production and said, hey, we will take you. We'll create. They're not going to throw us in 798 or whatever the feature film. We're going to get our own national union. I shouldn't give all the details because Aaron and Cheyenne have a lot more knowledge behind this to be able to share correctly. But nationwide union, separate from the production coordinators and production managers on the feature film side. Obviously, that's different.
Right.
So check out their website for all the details, standwithproduction.org. It's a monumental thing. People have worked on this for years. I know, sister, you have as well, in many different organizations trying to get this recognition.
Yeah, I think that it's just fair working practices. Not everyone is strong enough to advocate for themselves. And being freelance means a lot of people work under the mentality of, I'm only as good as my last job. So I better be perfect every time in order to get hired again. And if I make way, there is a position of power that the people in charge of hiring have that are wielded over us and makes a lot of us be silent over what we know is fair. And so what this does is allow us, just like, you've known a DP forever. You talk to their agent. You keep it out. So then you can be still friends with the person. Like anything, and that's the same thing here. Like if you have a big entity saying no, it's not right for people to work past 12 hours without overtime, it takes it out of your hands and you can still do your job without having to fight for your own rights.
Or to work unpaid days. It's like, well, we got 10 days in the budget, so you just need to make it work. And then you end up working 15 days.
And then you count up your hours and you realize that you're making less than everybody on set when you're responsible for all the stuff that they're doing.
All the stuff.
And you're responsible for paying them too. And it spirals.
And knowing everyone else's union rules and overtime calculations and meal penalties and forced call violations. Like,
I mean, I remember 2009 being in Dutch country in Pennsylvania on the phone with Fundus saying, like, listen, I have to know all of your rules. I don't get it. You know, like, I have to know all these. Why isn't anybody for me? Yeah. And he was like, them's the breaks.
Whoa.
No, I mean,
gotta love that guy.
Again, he was correct.
He was.
And that kind of honesty is what we need from any kind of union leadership, right? Yeah. And so this is why it doesn't have to be nasty. It just, somebody does have to do the talking, and we need the power to be balanced.
Yeah, exactly.
And right now, without being together, we have none.
You always know how to end a show, Christian. You do it so well.
Goddamn right. That's why you hired me. We're not getting paid.
We're not getting paid. No one's hired anyone here. We're just chatting and having drinks, which is a lovely thing to do. And we have so many cool people to talk to, and we apologize for ghosting everybody, but we got busy. We're making stuff.
Exactly. And honestly, I feel like all of our listeners have at one point or another ghosted somebody, so they understand that it happens.
Yeah. Because of our jobs.
I won't guarantee it, but I can bet on it.
Yes.
So,
Sister, how do people get a hold of you if they want to chat more with you?
They can go to sisterchristianproduces.com. All of my contact information is there. And Lawrence, if people want you, how do they get you?
2 ways. LawrenceTLewis.com for everything else, and voiceoflawrence.com for voiceover. There you go.
For the dream job.
For the dream job. There you go.
Exactly. Well, I'll see you soon.
Bye, all.
Producers Happy Hour was brought to you with the help of Christopher Daniels,
who is a design and branding specialist. Thanks for listening, and remember,
enjoy happy hour when you can.
Because making shit is hard.